4C Land and Auction LLC, Rogers and Associates Insurance, Phillips County Convention and Visitors Bureau, Ron Juniman at Family Eye Care, Amber Wave, American Family Insurance, Farmers National Bank, Phillips County Health Systems, Blossoms and Butterflies, Phillipsburg Chamber and Main Street, Trinity Ag LLC. And now, here's Tad Feltz.
And good morning, welcome to a Tadpoll for not a Thursday morning, it's a Friday morning because of the weather and everything. And as school started 2 hours late yesterday, and then they took that out. We were going to try to come in and do that beer all by ourselves, and they said, nope, no school today either. So we thought, well, we'd try to come in on Friday, and I was very busy yesterday morning getting people up early. Tim, of course, Caleb, and Shari and Shirley, but we got it all straightened out. Thank you for coming over today.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. And before we talk about who we're going to be talking to today, again, a reminder, the Route 36 Quail Forever Banquet, that comes up a week from tomorrow, 28th at Phillips County Fair Building. Social hours at 4:30, dinner at 6:30, and live auction at 7:30. Tickets available for Max Dibble at 785-543-7544, or Jacob Cobb at 319, area code 319-530-6064. And this is, of course, all kinds of ways you can participate in this. They have the food, and they have the auction, and a lot of lotteries, and a lot of guns this year, and a lot of other things. So there's a 10-gun table raffle that we'll have a chance at, and they'll have sponsors at the table. So again, that's coming up a week from tomorrow. Then coming up today, always, it's a big wrestling and a tournament weekend. For the Mid-Continental League, some of the wrestlers out of there. The Bob Kuhn Wrestling is in Hayes High, right? It's Hayes High tonight, this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow. That's a big tournament. A lot of big wrestling schools come to that. It's a big opportunity, so hope the wrestling fans go there. The MCL basketball tournament today. This is held at the Trigo Community High School. The first game this afternoon will be at 3 o'clock, the girls' semifinal. It's the championship side of the bracket. At 3 o'clock, Phillipsburg at Ellis. And then at 4:30, it's Phillipsburg at Hill City boys. And then at 6 o'clock, back on the girls' side, Smith Center and Hoxie. And then around 7:30, Russell and TMP Marion. So this is at the Trio Community High School. 1 year they go to Plainville. Next year they go to TC, to Trio Community High School, then back and forth. They, of course, used to have that tournament at the Coliseum. They don't do that anymore. That was always a fun time to go down, and places to eat, and the whole bit. Anyway, so I have a chance to see basketball and wrestling in the area. The weather cleared away. There is a chance for snow again tomorrow morning. It looks like early, about 3 o'clock is supposed to start. I'll ask Tim about that, see what he knows about that. We'll be talking about that. Okay, our guest this morning. We're going to be talking with Shari about something coming up this Sunday, World War I speaker. Then Tim Driggs will be here to talk about things going on in the city of Phillipsburg. Breon will be here to talk about PCED, Phillips County Economic Development. And then Shari Mendoza, we'll sneak her in to talk about the Senior Center fundraiser, breakfast, dinner, whatever, coming up this Sunday at the Senior Center. Okay, Shari, thank you for making it. Changing everything, and so
worked out good for me.
Okay, so
yeah.
Roads okay?
Yep, roads are dry. Everything's great.
Okay. Let's start first about the World War I talk. This is what your whole month is on the World War I, or 6 weeks.
We are finishing out our Life in the Trenches exhibition, and it is really just an in-depth historical look at what it was like for those soldiers to fight in those horrific trenches. It just gives a human face, and it's quite sobering, but it's very informative.
Sure.
And I like to think of it, we're building better citizens one visitor at a time through this exhibit. So
my dad served in a destroyer, and he sank some German submarines, and he was dad when 11/11/18 came along, where he could come back home.
Wow.
He had this diary, I think it said, Going home, great big letters, going home. Okay.
Neat, really neat. And we've had several school groups come through. I think by the time this exhibit leaves, we'll have 7 different school groups
Wow,
have come
okay.
through. And we've had a really good time doing some lessons with them and exploring, you know, just what it was like for these individuals. And one of the school groups that came through was Logan, and they had their history teacher with them. And we just really enjoyed Lonnie Jansonius as he was leading his group through the exhibit. He was adding so much more. I mean, you can't put all the information
Sure,
there. You just
right.
don't have
Yeah,
time, right? And so we just were so impressed with the breadth of his knowledge that we reached out and asked him if he would come and do a presentation
Wow.
at the museum. So on Sunday afternoon, Lonnie Jansonius is going to come and give us a talk on World War I. I know that he will have pictures. We're going to have projectors, and I know it'll be very interesting. And just listening to him when he was going through the exhibit was quite interesting. He just has a way of speaking that brings it into common language and just is exciting. It makes you really want more. And so I'm really excited. It'll be at 2 o'clock, and I'll probably last about 45 minutes.
Okay. And that's refreshments too? Okay.
We'll have refreshments, yeah. Cupcakes.
I always like it when it says refreshments, yeah, because
And then the other really great word,
Yeah.
free.
okay, so free again, 2 or 2:30.
2.
It said 2:30 on there.
Oh, 2:30. You're right. I'm wrong.
Okay, it is
2 o'clock or 2:30. I keep saying it wrong. 2:30.
2:30. Okay,
Yes.
all right. Thank you for the card.
You're welcome.
Boy, I'm on your mailing list, and I get a lot. You got a lot going on all the time.
We
down there.
do. Yes. You know, last year we had over 30 continuing education classes,
wow,
workshops.
geez, yeah.
You know, as part of our special
Sure.
programming for 50th. This
Right.
year we're not quite 30, but we are busy. Every month there's several things going on.
You mentioned World War I again. My uncle was over there. He was in the trenches. He used to talk about, you know, they'd come up and go out, and then they'd go back, and they'd come up and go out and go back, and they'd drive the Germans back, and then Germans would drive them, and then they'd go back down. You know, how do you sleep in a mud-filled trench?
Some of
there?
that had water up to their knees for
yes,
times.
right, yeah.
There's one letter from a fellow who was stationed in France, and he was the south of France, and he was like, "Where's the sunny France weather? We're ready for it to quit raining." And they had water to their knees for over 3 weeks.
And of course, the Germans used gas.
Yes.
And my uncle, he was affected the rest of his life with the gas. He had problems with the gas the rest of his life. He just didn't get the gas mask on time.
Yeah, they had about 20 seconds, I think,
Yeah,
warning
yeah,
to get
well,
it
that's
attached.
the way. Okay. So anyway, that's coming at 2:30
2:30.
at the Hanson. All right, now you can talk about it, but they're taking a waiting list. Let's talk about last year was really great. I had tickets and couldn't make it. Someone else went and said, "We had a great time." You're doing it again, the mystery dinner, right?
Mystery dinner, yes. We are partnering with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, Angie Wells and Tammy Sauer and myself, and we are putting on another dinner mystery. This year it's called Panic at the Disco, and it is March 11th and begins at 5 o'clock. So it's all, you know, kind of a 70s theme, a 70s vibe, and of course it's a whodunit. We have time to, in between courses of the meal, to ask questions and investigate and hear from the characters, and we have quite the cast of characters.
You already got the characters?
The
Okay.
characters, all the main characters are filled. So if you're already signed up and you think, "Oh, I really feel the need to act," we do have some optional
Okay.
characters available. Yeah, but they sound hilarious. Like Polly Darton is one of
Polly
them.
Darton.
Polly Darton. Vampire von Beitmark. It's just, they're hilarious. I know it'll be a good time. Last year was hysterical, a wonderful, we got our foot in the water, tested it out, decided it was a great thing. And you're right, that it is full. The money, the proceeds from the night will go to the Life Center, as last year's proceed did as well. So it's just a really wonderful time of fun and entertainment for a good cause.
So you are full, but you are taking...
Taking a wait list.
Wait list,
You can
okay.
call the CVB or you can call the museum, 785-689-4846, and we'll put you on our wait list.
I didn't use that number yesterday morning. I did some research to call you at home.
That's okay.
I had to do... I knew you weren't there yet. To let you know that we weren't going to be doing it yesterday, you know. So I did some investigative research and
That's
got your
good.
number there.
That's good. And you know, a lot of people do text me or call me on my cell phone, which is fine if as soon as I'm done, I send myself an email. But so much is happening in my life, I just don't always remember. So it's safest to call the museum
And I
number.
didn't have your cell phone.
Or
so
send an
it's
email or
405,
something of that nature.
Okay, looking forward to that. And so you will take a list, and you're serving, it's $50, right?
$50,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
And the new restaurant here in Phillipsburg is catering this year, the
sure.
Farmhouse.
Oh, you have there's a Logan connection kind of there.
Yeah,
okay.
Jody Wilkerson was, yeah.
Okay,
Jody.
so I'm sorry about that. You didn't have to advertise it yet.
Well,
I mean,
no,
you got
I put
word
it
of mouth,
out.
I think, probably.
Well, I put it out
yeah.
first, and I didn't even have a title in our looking into. That's where membership has its benefits. And so I had several people call from this. The CVB had people that didn't get in last year that were already on a wait list for the next year. And then we had just a brief mention of it in the newsletter. And between word of mouth and those few mentionings, it pretty much filled
Yeah,
up.
it sure did. That's how I got it, word of mouth, and I got on the phone right away. Okay, what else? Joy of Painting. What else is coming up here?
Oh, we have all kinds of fun things coming up. On January 28th, we have Sally Brandon coming to do a survey of felting class, which is a new offering for us in our continuing education. Sally is definitely not new to us or the area, but she is going to bring the art of felting to the museum. And I've never felt it before, so I really can't give you 100% information. I know we're going to make a barbecue or an oven mitt out of it, and then we're also going to do a silk scarf somehow with the felting. So it'll be a wonderful experience, and that's on the 28th. There's still room in that class.
Okay.
On February 13th, which I believe is a Monday, we are going to decorate Valentine cookies with Anna. Anna Schrimmer. That will be fun. We tried to do it in December, but it ended up conflicting with basketball, and we just didn't have enough participation. So it'll be a great time. We had done it a couple years ago and decided we wanted to do something like that every year, because you pay for one group, and you get 20 or a dozen cookies, so you can bring your grandchildren and whatever, you each get that dozen cookies for the whole group, and then you can decorate however you want to. And you do learn a lot of skills, but it's also fun. You know, everything's set up for you and provided, so you get to go right to the fun part of decorating. Anna will demonstrate a few things, and then we'll move on. February 1st, we have a new offering too. We're going to do an independent study with Lori Album. That's a Wednesday. And you're going to come and bring your already started oil painting or watercoloring or pastel or sketching project, and she will help you, whether you're having a block or you need a little technical help or you just want someone to guide you as you go forward. She's only taking 6 students, and this will just be a great time of real intense one-on-one learning, you know, in these different mediums. So that's really the immediate future. Then, of course, we have later in the month of February, I think it's the 18th and 19th, joy painting, no lighthouse Tad. I'm so sorry.
I got this in the mail. I opened it up right. It's the desert, isn't it? It's a desert this time.
Yeah, desert paradise, and then a peaceful evening.
Yeah,
so.
I think, where's the well, we'll see, maybe next time.
Maybe next time. I can't promise. I don't get to pick them, or I would.
Yeah.
Our next exhibit is high school art, which this is our 46th year.
That's a big event there. That's really,
and I'm happy to report we have 9 schools this year, which is more than we've had in a long time. And so on the 5th of February, we are going to have a preview, so at 2 o'clock. So come on over and you can mingle with the students. Those that are participating are recognized, and of course we'll have refreshments. So
it amazed me the talent of these high school students have on their painting, you know. And they have everything from self-portraits to way out stuff, you know.
Yeah, some of them are very politically minded, which always surprises me. They have such clear, of course, youth has its advantages, you know, and you hope they never lose that boldness, but they're sometimes so sure of their thoughts that they're so bold with them. I kind of enjoy that.
All right, well, this Sunday, don't forget 2:30 at Hanson, to go there and learn about the World War I with the talk. I said something to Morris the other day, "You're going to be there tickled?" And I said, "Probably not. You know, World War I, the song." You know, I hated missing it. Anyway, so that's at 2:30. Anything else you want to share this morning?
You know, I think that's
all right.
covers our little bit here. Yeah, we got a lot on our plate.
Okay, all right. Very good. Thank you so much, and we'll see you for the mystery theater. Well, I know we'll see you before that, the mystery dinner. What are you serving?
I believe they're serving, we're on the 70s theme, so we wanted to do like a TV dinner vibe.
Okay.
Salisbury steak, cream corn, dessert roll, and mashed potatoes and gravy, I
Are you
believe.
going to be doing some of the dances, you think, to be doing something
Oh,
like
I
that?
do believe there'll be some dancing involved somewhere
Okay.
along the line.
Okay, fine.
So warm up your feet.
Okay, all righty.
Yeah, wear
Thank
your
you.
dancing shoes.
Shari Buss with us here from Hanson Museum again. It's a Sunday afternoon, 2:30 at the Hanson Museum. Go out and learn more about World War I. We're going to talk to Tim Driggs about things happening in Phillipsburg and how the snow removal went and everything, and how they're looking forward to another snowstorm after we take this break.
In our area, ranching and farming are more than just jobs. They represent family traditions and a way of life. They are an essential part of our community. At First National Bank and Trust, community is what matters most. From agriculture to education, we support those who make our community one to be proud of and a place to call home. First National Bank and Trust, where community matters most.
We're here for you.
Farmers and Ranchers Outlet is a locally owned and operated business in Phillipsburg, Kansas. As farmers and ranchers ourselves, we continually put our products to the test. We provide a variety of products including roping supplies, horse tack, mineral blocks and feed, healthcare items for your animals, and of course, we have all the apparel you need to get the job done and look good while you're doing it. Stop by our store on Highway 183 or shop with us online at farmersranchersoutlet.com.
The experienced and professional team at Coombs Trucking takes pride in providing the most efficient and reliable service to our customers. From hauling to towing, our fleet of quality trucks and drivers continue to deliver safely and on time. Our team is also proud to support your team. We're here for our Little Leaguers, area high school teams, and more. Coombs Trucking enjoys giving back to the community that has been so important to us for over 50 years.
We all make bad choices. Your insurance carrier doesn't have to be one of them. Make a choice you won't regret. The foremost choice.
Are you wrestling with your financial situation? Let First National Bank and Trust help you take down the stress that comes with managing your money. First National Bank and Trust is here for our area athletes, here for our farmers, here for our business owners, here for our families, and
We're here for you.
And back on the Tadpoll, we're going to talk to Tim Driggs about some things going on in the city. Of course, the big thing right now is the weather. The snow is always a big thing. Everything else kind of grinds to a halt. The important services still stay there, but you have to get the guys on the. Now, how did the snow removal go this time?
It went pretty good. We ended up with more snow than I think that we was expecting. Forecasters kept saying 1 to 3, and it just kind of kept growing as the day went on. But really, I thought things cleaned up well. I thought the guys did a very good job, and we spent most of yesterday and today we'll be hauling snow out of downtown in preparations for the next round.
Which it looks like tomorrow morning.
I seen an update this morning that said maybe 3 to 4 for tomorrow, and then another round on Monday. But I guess it is that time of year.
I've got to ask this question. You know, when you have the snow alert out there and you have these emergency routes and everything, do people get their cars off the street pretty good? People
do a pretty good job, really. I don't know that we've had a huge amount of issues with it. There seems to be one, but most of the time people, they don't want to see their cars buried.
Yeah, right.
And so
it happens. You got to.
It's kind of unavoidable, but really, people have done they've done very well since we started putting the alerts out and communicating that with people.
Okay, so how did last year go overall?
It went good. The city has been working on some projects that have been challenging for the last couple of years, and we're finally getting the tail end of some of that stuff where all that hard work and heavy lifting has kind of gotten to the end where we're going to start seeing the project itself. So those are kind of nice. it's going to be another good year. It's going to be another busy year. I keep telling the city council it'd be nice if we could catch a breath a little bit, but with government work, there's not a whole lot of time for idle time. So right now, there's lots of grant money out there and lots of things that we're chasing. So we'll be looking for another strong year.
Okay, all right. So you talked about some of the things. What's happening now with the airport runway and all that?
Okay, so the airport runway project has been something that's been discussed for the last, it feels like an eternity, but it's been about the last 3 years. So we have a contractor in place, and that contractor is scheduled to start somewhere mid-March. Okay. There was some land acquisition stuff that's still kind of being dealt with. We did go to a hearing this last Wednesday. And that has, it was ruled in the city's favor for that acquisition. So that keeps the city working towards their goal. And so that was a big step in getting us where we need to be. Mm-hmm. So we're happy with the progress we're making.
Okay, and if with the runway goes, there's also a question about the street. We're talking about
the street. Santa Fe Road has been a hurdle that has been at the foremost of most conversations for a long time. Mm-hmm. It is the city council's desire that road will be closed if this project continues. Mm-hmm. And since the contract is in place with our contractor, who is out in Newton, the city council will take action to close Santa Fe Road here in the coming month.
Okay. I've heard, is that not a county, or is that a city street, or is it half and half, or what is the street?
What it is, it's a public easement.
Okay.
And 2 years ago, it was in the county. During the process of this project, the city has annexed additional properties.
Okay.
And with the action taken by the court on Wednesday, that property is now in possession of the city.
Okay.
So that property will be annexed, which makes Santa Fe Road a city street from that point out.
Okay, all right, good. That clears up that, I think, a little bit on that. So the annexation, is that complete then?
Monday night, or the 6th, the council is expected to take an action that will officially annex that piece into the property, piece of property into the city limits.
Okay, fine. Thank you. What about Highway 36 there? There's an area you're going to have some work done.
So
there.
we got a project that's been bid and has been contracted. It starts there at the car wash, and it'll go to the corner of 6th and State. That's 2.5 blocks of concrete pavement that'll go in, similar to what we did a couple years ago. Those projects are extremely nice to get rid of some of those problem areas we've been having troubles with. It comes with some challenges because of trying to deal with traffic control and some of the not so fun things about construction.
Well,
the inconvenience to the public and to some of the folks that travel through is a bit challenging, but hopefully it's a short project and we get good weather and we can get in and out.
And it's how much funded by the state? Is it all?
It is 95% funded by KDOT. So when we got that project, we had a 5% match, and wow. We've been last couple of years we've been very fortunate to acquire grant money or state monies. That's been huge in helping us out.
Okay, back to the runway, just the airport a little bit. Is that 90-10?
That is 90-10. The state of Kansas come up with, for the construction side, was $1.557 million. The city come up with their match share on that, and then on the design side, they paid for 90% of the design as well.
Wow.
So really, there was a very small commitment to the city, and then with the land acquisition partners, I mean, we had several of the foundations, Cole and Morgan Foundation, partnered with us, as well as Hanson Foundation.
Okay.
So really the impact to the city and the customers of Phillipsburg was very minimal.
Okay. All right, anything else? What else? I got to ask you this every time. Casey's Corner, what's
well, it's looking really good.
I know it is. I know. I tell you what.
It is something that everybody's really excited
Everyone
about.
drives by and, traffic slows down and everything there.
It is looking good, and you know, those folks are amazing how fast they've been able to stick all those contractors in the same part and work. They're finishing up on some stuff on the insides, and I know they have hired a manager, and that she is in training right now.
Wow.
I believe she is training over at Smith Center store this week. From what I hear, mid-March they will be open to the public.
Wow. Okay.
So,
all right,
I know we're scheduled to do a walkthrough down there the first week of March and kind of look at things and see where everything sits, and we're pretty excited to see it. It's going to be a nice addition.
We had a planning commission meeting the other night. We talked about all kinds of things there, and we're looking at codes now and all that, and there's some challenges in that, aren't there?
There is. I mean, with any regulation that is made, there's always pros and cons to everything. And that's one nice thing about the planning commission. When we look at those codes, you know, the 6 of you guys get to decide whether does that make sense to our community or does it not.
Yeah, sure.
And there's a lot of times some very good communication back and forth between you guys and deciding, does this make sense? And it's been interesting over the last couple of years. As we go through this book, we look at stuff and go, that doesn't make any sense to us. Why would that rule be there? So it makes people think, and it makes people consider what kind of challenges those would have if we went with that.
There was one in there that didn't make, and you mentioned that, and I'd be 6 months in jail if you don't build your building the way you're going to. That is really, I don't know who ever put that in there. That's really, who wants this?
One thing I'll make sure everybody understands clearly, I don't make those rules.
Yeah, right.
I didn't make these rules. I put a little bit of input into you guys on how difficult they are to enforce at times. But yeah, when that was brought up to me, I looked at it and said, I don't think that's something we want to do.
No.
But again, that's you guys' decision to make, not
well,
mine.
I don't think that. I think we've got to look at taking that out. I mean, if anyone was there the night, knows we talked about it quite a bit. It just doesn't make sense. You know, I can understand fine, because you say you're going to do it and you don't. But to spend up to 6 months in jail because you made it a foot bigger than it's supposed to be, or something, doesn't make sense. You know?
Well, and I think everybody also has to understand before they get too far down. That is a worst case scenario, and I would think that the council would have a different look at that before they ever did something of that nature.
Yeah, I'm sure they would too. Okay, anything else?
Nope, we look forward to a good year, and we've got a lot of things going, and
projects. Projects coming up. Anything?
Yep. We've got 3 projects at the airport this year. We'll have the State Street project. We'll have our annual crack sealing and street sealing projects, and we'll be working with hopefully some housing stuff that Caleb's working on to try to get some houses built and move things forward there. So
we're talking to Caleb about that and everything with economic development. So you said the State Street project, that's the one there, okay? And then the airport, you say there's 3 at the airport?
There's 3 at the airport we're working on right now. One is a new weather station.
Okay.
KDOT funded $277,000 for the purchase of a new weather station out there.
Okay.
The third project is on 183. There's a bunch of power poles that are in what they call obstructions, and it's about a $750,000 project that the feds are going to fund to lower those power poles and put them underground. So it comes with some significant problems because of
airways.
It comes with a little bit of problems because of the fact that very large high pressure gas lines over there. So putting electrical lines in the ground next to a high pressure gas is kind of a little challenging at times. So, but it's good. We're very fortunate to have access to some of these federal monies and state dollars that are available. So we plan on taking advantage of every one we can.
Okay, well, we need the snow, but there's always a two-edged sword. It's a two-edged sword. We need the snow, but the removal of something else and the
you know, Tad, I say this all the time. I'll take sunny and 75 and rain anytime. I'm not a big fan of snow. I was kind of raised that way. I remember even as a young child, my dad was not a fan of snow because he worked for KDOT.
Sure.
But I definitely understand that. We need the moisture, but I would take a different type of moisture anytime.
I was surprised at the parking lot out here. How clean it was. I mean, really do a good job here
this was a different snow than we were expecting. When they were predicting it, they figured there'd be some moisture in it, but it was expected to be pretty dry. It was actually very wet. with the rain we got beforehand, and it's very, very heavy.
Yeah,
We
which is on the one side is good for the moisture.
It was easy to clean until it froze down that night, and then it became quite a bit more challenging for us as we worked the night.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
But it went good.
All right. And you're going to see wrestling today? When
I
does that
am.
start?
I'm looking forward to it. This is one of those tournaments that brings a lot of heavy hitters out.
Oh yeah.
And I got 2 boys that are in wrestling this year, so I'm excited to see them. Patrick's not quite ready for wrestling yet. He got injured there at Christmas, so he's got another week to set before he can get back in it. But my middle one, Gavin's wrestling and having a pretty good season so far, so I'm excited.
All right. Well, Bob Kuhn, that's a big one there. He was in the past that's where they named it after him there. So well, have a good drive. The drive will be good on the highway. Tomorrow, well, we'll see how that goes. Okay.
Sunny and 75.
Thanks a lot, Tim, for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to be talking with Caleb just a moment about PCED after this break.
At Phillips County Health Systems, patient-centered excellence is more than a goal. It's a mission. And that's why we continue to be one of the top critical access hospitals in the country. We care for members of our community through all stages of life, providing quality health care, innovative rehabilitation therapies, and convenient access to specialists. It's the kind of care our patients should expect, the kind of care you deserve, the kind of care provided at Phillips County Health Systems.
Prairie Horizon Agri-Energy is now Amber Wave. We are transforming our existing facility in Phillipsburg to turn 20 million bushels of wheat into domestically produced wheat protein for use in the food and feed-related industries. This investment in the community will come together in the summer of 2023 and is expected to add 50 new jobs to the local community. Learn more at amberwaveusa.com. Amber Wave, vital, reliable, sustainable.
The American dream has changed over the years, but Farmers National Bank has not. This is Jean Ann Wagner. Farmers National Bank has been backing the American dream for over 100 years. Tell us what you'd like to accomplish, and we'll work with you to achieve it. As we celebrate 100 years, it's never been about us. It's always been about our customers and their successes. That's the American dream. We're Farmers National Bank in Phillipsburg, Agra, Logan, Kensington, Stockton, and Atwood, member FDIC.
Olive Bovey Furniture and Appliance in Phillipsburg wishes you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Shop hometown, locally owned Olive Bovey for the holidays. Find savings on Lazy Boy recliners, sofas and love seats, Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and KitchenAid appliances. And Forever Bedding, Justice, and Rasonic Bedding, and bedroom furniture. Olive Bovey also offers one of the region's largest selection of floor covering. They thank you for making 2021 a great year. Olive Bovey Furniture and Appliance, West Highway 36 in Phillipsburg.
Protection is important, especially when you're talking about your dreams, which is why we're going to keep you covered with plans that can save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. That's protection.
And on the Tadpoll this morning, we have Caleb Breon with us. And Caleb, been a while since we've had you on. Let's look back at the past year. How was it for economic development in Phillipsburg?
So sales tax wise, we did very well. About 6% more sales tax funding coming this year over the previous year.
Okay.
In the previous year before that, it was about 12% higher. So
sure. Okay.
Significant increase. Now, yeah, obviously some inflation stuff plays into that, but you know, it just shows the progress the community's making with different projects and things like that.
And with the recent election, it stays on the sales tax, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It stays there. Yep.
So, were you involved with Casey's and like the Amber Wave and that? How did you get involved with that much, or is that a different thing? So,
as far as Casey's goes, you know, we kind of helped get things started, start having the conversations, and maybe doing a little bit of site scouting to try and find the best place for them. But as far as that, once they made their decision to be here, we're kind of out of that corporate decision, and then they start working with the city like they have for all their permits. We just kind of help facilitate to get that started. And then for Amber Wave, that decision kind of caught us off guard. I think it caught a lot of people off guard, actually. We had no prior knowledge to that acquisition happening, but what we did was we reached out to them, just as a courtesy to just say, hey, we're here if you guys should ever need us. And then what we actually did was help connect them to the state, to the Department of Commerce, with the jobs they're providing, the types of jobs they are being in manufacturing. They actually qualified for some significant state incentives. So, getting that really helped, and helping facilitate that conversation.
So just how do you get, well, someone wants to develop or go further with their business, they see what, briefly, how's that work? And it's been a while since we talked about that.
So if an existing business wants to come in and they want to expand, develop, do whatever they want to do, the conversation starts with, let's look at your business plan. If you don't have one, let's help you create one. We connect people to the Small Business Development Center out of Fort Hays in Hays, Kansas, and they're experts on all that, so we try not to get in their way. We let the experts do the expert work. So that's kind of where that starts, and then it's all situation dependent on what they're after. We have to take a dive into their financials and things like that, so we can connect them to a bunch of different funding sources that we know of, or we also have funding sources out of PCD, but again, situation dependent on if we can provide what they need.
If I come in and say, I want $10,000, I mean, you just say, okay, here we go. I mean, it's a process, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
And it should be.
It is. I would say our process is maybe a little easier than most, but that doesn't mean that it's easier to be awarded money. There's still a process. Our application's very simple. We have, like I said, the Small Business Development Center that will help do a business plan with the individual. So it's a time commitment is what it takes. But when you look at simply the application, it's a little simpler.
Okay. How many serve? Do you have a group committee or something?
I have a board that oversees everything that we do. Helps set the direction of how we operate, things like that. I have a group of 5, is what we have, and it's been that way since PCD was started officially in our capacity in 2006.
The next question, so it's been here since 2006 then, right?
In this capacity with sales tax funding. It's been there beforehand, and I'm not 100% positive, but I believe before that it used to operate on a grant basis, meaning they received grant money to help do some of their funding that they did. In 2005, there was an election held to implement sales tax, and then that started in 2006.
People looking for funding and so on, does it have to be, you have a criteria, I'm sure. It can't be an individual wants something to buy a combine as opposed to, or maybe you can, I don't know.
So it's difficult for individuals if you're using it for an individual reason.
I understand that.
So in that instance, it would be if a farmer has a business, technically they qualify. The issue becomes the amount of money that we can provide and that we've set our limits at usually isn't going to help buy a combine. But yeah, we have a whole list of criteria and a whole list of uses of what you can use. So you can purchase a building, you can purchase land to build a building, you can rehab a building, you can buy working capital. There's a long list. We're not very restrictive, but obviously it's not do whatever you want.
Okay, so someone then can come to you and talk to you. If they have other funding available, can you give just part of it? Are you able to just give part of the money to them, and you're able to do that? Isn't that
we don't. It doesn't have to be all of our funds or none of it.
Okay, all right.
We've done where we funded an entire business operation. We've funded a very, very small portion of it just to get what we're considered as a gap finance. But sometimes, depending on what the project is, since we look at every project, not even just business, but all of our other programs, we look at everything individually. So
That was our next question. What other programs? You just left the school to come up here?
So I just left the middle school. We have our Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge, is what it's called, or YEC. So we have at the high school here and at the middle school, students put together business plans. We kind of go in and talk to them, do the basics of what I said SBDC does, just to make them familiar with and give them an opportunity. If you've ever seen the TV show Shark Tank, very similar to what we do. Right. So you come in, you make a pitch, you put up a little trade show to show the judges, and then you have to put together a business plan.
And then maybe you could go on and you say, hey, this is a good idea, I may do it. They go ahead and do it. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great. Have you had anyone to do that yet? You know?
Not to my knowledge, but one of the other things that we do also help with is the Next Gen Internship Program.
Sure. Right.
We help sponsor that, and we actually just funded at the end of last year, a business where somebody started in the Next Gen program, and now they are a business owner, and they're working on getting started. So that process has come full circle.
One other thing, before we have to bring Shirley in and talk about something. Housing. Are you really involved in the housing situation now?
We've been involved in housing. I've been here about 2.5 years, and it's been 2 years and 3 months of projects.
Okay.
What everybody has to understand is it's a very long process. There is a grant that we are putting in for, a very substantial grant that's due at the end of this month. Right now we're in the process of trying to get support letters. We have to be very strategic about those support letters because we can only put in so many. So we're trying to combine some different entities into one, maybe to give us a little bit more punch in that letter. But there's other types of funding, but then there's all sorts of hurdles. You got to go through engineering, you got to go through financing. I mean, it's just a long process. If we can get the project we're working on right now, it would help us to start developing a piece of property that would unlock about 29 opportunities right now. We have this piece of property engineered out for 172 homes right now. Obviously, we can't do all that at once, so we're working in stages, and we're calling this phase 1. And so it'd be about 29 homes is what we're targeting.
Amber Wave kind of created that a little bit. I mean, a little bit to make it.
What the Amber Wave project did was kind of gave the community a kick in the seat to say, let's get going, because this has been an ongoing problem. Talking with our realtors and some of the letters they've put in, this has been a long problem. I mean, at least 10 years. So this just really put it to the forefront of everybody's mind, the Amber Wave project. So I've heard a handful of people say this is a good problem to have, but then you have another group that says this is not a good problem to have because we don't have the housing. We are potentially losing residents. Working very, very hard on it, but it's just a long process.
Well, I know you're looking forward to a new year and doing things and see what happens here. Anything else you want to share this morning?
As far as that, housing has been our big focus because that's our big opportunity right now. The Logan Life Center project is another one that we don't want to be behind the game on. So
I've got Mike Earhart coming on next week to talk about about that. I have him scheduled to talk about that. So.
Okay. Well, he can tell you a little bit more about that. From my side, we're working on the housing. We're very early in that process, but hopefully it won't be, they're ready to start hiring, and we're just now getting into it. So.
Okay, fine. Well, thank you, Katie. We appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Stay warm, and you heard Tim talk about the snow. So.
I know. He didn't have good news today, did he?
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Katie Breon with us this morning. Let us know about the PCED, and we'll come back and talk with Shirley Mendoza about food after we take this break.
In our area, ranching and farming are more than just jobs. They represent family traditions and a way of life. They are an essential part of our community. At First National Bank and Trust, community is what matters most. From agriculture to education, we support those who make our community one to be proud of and a place to call home. First National Bank and Trust, where community matters most.
We're here for you.
Farmers and Ranchers Outlet is a locally owned and operated business in Phillipsburg, Kansas. As farmers and ranchers ourselves, we continually put our products to the test. We provide a variety of products including roping supplies, horse tack, mineral blocks, and feed, healthcare items for your animals, and of course, we have all the apparel you need to get the job done and look good while you're doing it. Stop by our store on Highway 183 or shop with us online at farmersranchersoutlet.com.
The experienced and professional team at Coombs Trucking takes pride in providing the most efficient and reliable service to our customers. From hauling to towing, our fleet of quality trucks and drivers continue to deliver safely and on time. Our team is also proud to support your team. We're here for our Little Leaguers, area high school teams, and more. Coombs Trucking enjoys giving back to the community that has been so important to us for over 50 years.
We all make bad choices. Your insurance carrier doesn't have to be one of them. Make a choice you won't regret. The foremost choice.
Are you wrestling with your financial situation? Let First National Bank and Trust help you take down the stress that comes with managing your money. First National Bank and Trust is here for our area athletes, here for our farmers, here for our business owners, here for our families, and
We're here for you.
Shirley Mendoza with us this morning, and she's going to talk about a fundraiser at the Senior Center. Shirley, thanks for coming on. We had to delay it a little bit because of yesterday's weather and all that, but I've known Shirley, I won't say forever, but I've known Shirley for a long time.
Yes.
And you're here to talk about the Senior Center. What's happening Sunday?
Well, Sunday we're going to have a pancake feed, and it'll the Agra Fire Department will be over to make pancakes
is
and
it the big turntable? The
yes,
big turntable.
Yes, yes.
I've said this many times. I'd like to have $1 for every pancake that's come off of that. I would probably be in the Caribbean right now.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Okay, so what's going to be happening?
Well, Sunday at the center from 11 to about 1:30. We'll be serving the pancakes, and it'll be a free will offering.
Okay, all right. So pancakes and sausages. Okay. So what's the fundraiser for at the Senior Center?
Well, mainly the center. You know, we have upkeep. We have some major things that we have to keep the building going. And as you may know, that the Meals on Wheels comes out of there.
Right.
And
Meals on Wheels still comes out, and they still, you have to do here in the center, right?
Yes, yes. The center owns 2 vans, and so they deliver to Phillips County and Smith County. And I was really surprised when they said they serve 1,500 meals in a month.
1,500?
In a month, yes.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of.
So it's important to keep our building going.
Okay, and so where's the cooking? Is the cooking done in the building here and then sent out, or how does the food get in?
Yeah. It's done right there at the center in the kitchen, and then then they deliver it out in the vans. They have a couple of drivers and.
Yeah. So. What do you have to be to qualify that? Do you have to be a certain
60 years old.
Okay, I qualify for that.
Yes, yes. And there's a suggested donation of $3.50. But if a person can't afford it, they can still have the meals delivered to them.
Sure, wow.
You know, it's really a good program because maybe that's the only hot meal somebody might get in a day. And then it's a contact from the outside world. Somebody's going in, laying eyes on that person, and if they see that there's something, maybe the person's not feeling well or something's going on, they can contact somebody. So it's really a good service that's provided through the center.
Wow. Okay. Is that 5 days a week?
5 days a week.
And
yes.
you know ahead of time what they
yes, they know the. It's set by the. Let's see. It's called the Homestead. Anyway, it's set by Hayes. I can't think of the name.
You're right. I know.
Hayes. They make the menus and kind of tell them what they have to do. There's certain regulations, you know.
Sure. Right. And so then they take it out in 5 days a week, and both vans are owned by the
center.
Wow.
So we have upkeep on those.
Yeah.
And then you can also go to the center and eat if you want to.
Okay.
You can go there and eat.
I remember they used to go eat there.
So you can go there and eat. So we'd encourage people to come on in.
Yeah. And again, age. It's an age thing to go in.
I don't know if there's an age thing on that. So.
Okay. Well.
But it does. But you do have to pay. You know. So.
Anyway, well.
But we changed the name of it though, because we want people to. It's not just for seniors, you know.
Yeah, I know, right. Well, it used to be Golden Air Center. I know they changed that out of there.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is the official name then? This
The center.
Okay,
The
I won't mention that again. Okay.
But I want to let people know too that we're going to start game night again.
Well, you are. I've heard that.
The 28th of this month.
Wow.
And so come at 6:30. Bring your family. And bring your games, and there's games there, and there's a pool table there, and so bring finger foods, and we just invite anybody to come that wants to just come out and have a night of fun.
Wow.
So,
do you play pool? Have you ever played pool?
I used to play with my husband, yes.
Very good. Did you beat him?
No, I could never beat him. No, he was too good. He was too good at all sports. You couldn't beat him.
So what else you have there to share this morning?
Well, and just I want to remind people that is where the food pantry is housed also, in the back part of the building, and there's a separate entrance there.
And I had a fellow on the third shirt,
Benny Benight.
Yeah. He was on a couple of, I guess about a month ago, talking about how, so we go around the back, the food pantry, so, okay.
So it's, the building is used, and we want to remind people too that you can rent the building.
Oh, okay.
For $50. Sure. And then if you use the kitchen, it's $100. So.
And that's you
so if you want
have a party or what?
A family gathering, graduations. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So who do they see? Who's in charge?
Vinda Bailey is in charge.
Okay.
And then the center's usually open in the mornings. She gets there pretty early, until about 1 o'clock or so. So you could go in the morning or call. So.
Okay. So the center, that's great. Were you ever when it was duck walls?
Oh yes. Yeah, I do. I remember that.
That goes back a way. You see.
It does.
Was it duck walls or Ben Franklin? Was it? I think it was duck walls.
Duck walls.
Okay. And then
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Then Ben Franklin's was over where. Let's see.
Well, the corner there.
Yeah.
Anyway, a little reminiscing here.
It's funny because that's how you remember things. Is
sure
okay,
you do,
you know who used to live in that house, and
Okay, Shirley, what else you have?
I think that's all I've got here on my list here. So we just want to encourage people to come out and support us.
Okay, look at the camera there and tell them, invite them to come.
Yeah, come on out and support us this Sunday, 11 to 1:30. And just come and support the center.
And that's at the center, okay.
Yes.
Quickly, I'll remind you again that next week we have Tara Overmiller's coming on to talk about casino night, and also she'll have Kelly Moffat on to talk about community health worker program. Then Mike Earhart's come on to talk about the Life Project in Logan. He'll be here with us next week. Again, the Bob Kuhn Wrestling this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow in Hayes. Phillipsburg will be there. Phillipsburg girls play at 3 this afternoon at Waukeeny. They'll play Ellis, and then at 4:30 the boys will play Hill City from Phillipsburg. And then at 6 tonight, Smith Center and Hoxie. That's the other championship semifinal game. And then at 7:30 the final game, Russell and TMP. These are all semifinal championship games there, so you have an opportunity to go to this. Games earlier were held around in the Stockton, so be sure you go to Waukeeny tonight to see those ball games. Okay, very good. Okay, well, thank you. We'll see you next week. I think we covered a lot of things today. We appreciate Kim changing things around a little bit from Thursday to here. We were going to come in yesterday, as we mentioned, and we'd been the only ones here because they were going to start 2 hours late, but now they called off school yesterday also, so things are going back and a little snow in the morning, and we'll see you next Thursday morning, unless the weather hits.